Well, the time certainly flies. Great to have your company in Cancer. It's the month of July, which is the month of Cancer. So we see straight off the bat that your ruling sign here, Cancer, has the sun transiting back through this part of the heavens. And last month we had that major solar eclipse. So I'm just wondering how you're feeling with that. Your ruler, of course, is the moon. So very, very important in both the solar and the lunar eclipse. And as if you haven't had enough of the eclipses, which was focused on yourself, your ego, your own personal being, this month, straight after the moon makes contact with the south node or the karmic point here in your sixth house of service, quickly moves to the seventh house, and on the 5th, the lunar eclipse here in the relationship sector. So there's this toing and froing, this seesaw effect between self and partner, self, others. This can relate to your personal emotional relationships, but it has as much to do with public relations with people as a whole. And the problem you've got here is all of these retrograde planets, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn having retrogressed back out of the sign of Aquarius to give you another shot at, retrieving stuff from the past that may help you understand the present to move forward into the future. Again, related to your relationships. Not only that, if you'd notice here, the movement of Mercury retrograde. Fortunately, Venus, which was retrograde last month, is direct. So that planet of love, still, that's in the low-key part of the horoscope. And you've had this very important once in 18-year transit of the North Node and South Node, having moved out of these relationship sectors most recently. You thought things were resolved. Well, it looks like these retrograde planets are still prodding you to get deeper, get further and further into the nature of your relationships. Notice here Mars in the 10th house. You've got the right angle here from all of this stuff in your career sector and self sector to Mars, which is very dominant in the 10th house this month. It's just moved here into the upper part of your horoscope, indicating your push for work, recognition. You've got to be a little bit careful not to go overboard with that. Don't overwork, don't overexert yourself. You may have felt that you've just mustered up all the courage and energy that was lacking, conspicuously missing for some time, especially when it was in the company of Neptune, the water planet, king of the oceans, and here in the sign of Pisces. That's moved now. So fire planet in the fire element in your work sector is really bolstering your opportunity for achieving things at work. The other thing I wanted to mention there that is Mars actually has directional strength in this part of the horoscope. So it gives you, this is the south. So if you want to move south, if there's some opportunity there, perfect. And look also, Mercury, in conjunction with the negotiation planet, Mercury has gone direct. I think that's after the 14th or 15th. It went stationary on the 12th. So that planet there, by around the 20th, gives you another shot at it. And look too also, Cancer, at the new moon taking place there in your sun sign. You just keep getting this repetition, this energy that's swinging back between yourself and other people. Mind you, if you're relying on other people, you're not easily going to move forward. You're going to have to rely on Mars, which is actually one of your best planets here. It's actually the best next to your ruling planet. It rules the 10th house of career. And this 5th house, it's a co-ruler, 5th house of creativity. And so that planet is the one. There are still some hard aspects. Look at the communications that can be fraught with difficulty there when Mercury makes that right angle, starting maybe around the 20th to the 25th. That's going to intensify. So you've got to be very, very careful. You may not be received so well by others, and you could get pushy. You may say things that you regret. And it's important, especially with the sun moving there into your second house of finance around the 21st or so. That's the movement to the sun sign of Leo. So you could get a little bit proud, a little bit cocky about what you deserve. Don't be too entitled, because you may find that these retrograde planets in the 7th house are not as amenable to you as you probably think. That's also shown by this opposition. You're going to go one by one here, starting with Jupiter, then you're going to go to Pluto. That's very, very intense there, especially that midpoint area around the 30th. I'm trying to see without my glasses, excuse me. And then to Saturn on the last day of the month. That can cause you to, well, it can cause a lot of frustration. It causes you to slow down your thinking. And that's not a bad idea when you've got retrograde planets, even if it's not Mercury. Neptune's also retrograde there in the 9th house of legalities, higher mind, long distance journeys. So all of those things I've just mentioned there can be in a bit of a tailspin. Take your time. There's no rush to the finishing line. Find out more, because I've got the monthly forecast there in a more chronologically placed for you, because you know me, I jump around quite a bit just based upon what I'm seeing as the moon's moving, so on and so forth. But you can get the full monthly reading there, get that in the context of the year. I've got the yearly reading for each of the 12 star signs. And by all means, subscribe, and feel free to drop me a line if you're studying astrology or you've got a technical question about how this works for you. I'm more than happy to try to answer you there below. See you next month. Stay safe. Bye-bye for now.